Hello and welcome to Psychology and Coffee with Aisha. Are we doing this video sitting on a couch today, à la Freud a little bit? Yes, because we are going to talk about depression. Depression is not just about feeling sad, it's much more than that. And actually, it's the most diagnosed mental health condition, and I think we should all understand it better. So get yourself comfortable, grab your coffee, and let's break it down together. Let's start with a simple fact. Everyone feels sad from time to time. We might have a rough day, things might not go as planned in our lives, so we are not happy about it, or we are just low with our energy level for no obvious reasons. So those are all normal things. This is not depression. Depression is something else. It's not just a bad mood. It's not just a rough patch. It's a serious condition that affects your emotion, your thought, your energy levels, and even your body. And according to the ICD-10, depression is diagnosed when you have at least 5 of the following symptoms that I'm going to share with you. And if those symptoms last at least 2 weeks, and from those 5, 2 are low mood and loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. So let's break this down into areas because depression affects a person in many different ways. So you have the symptoms in the emotional area. This is constant sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness, loss of interest in things you once enjoyed, and irritability. You get angry. So imagine you used to love painting, music, or sports, but now nothing exists for you and nothing excites you. Even if you try to feel something, you just don't feel anything. It's empty. Then we have the symptom area 2, which is the motivational symptoms. This is when you are struggling to do basic tasks. For example, getting out of bed feels exhausting, or you feel that everything takes too much effort, and you start also avoiding people because they overwhelm you. So it's like your brain is constantly hitting that snooze button on life. You know you should do things, but you just can't. Area number 3, it's the behavioral symptoms. It's like moving or speaking slower than usual, or the opposite. You are restlessness, you are fidgeting, you are pacing. You are also isolating yourself, you ignore calls, and you cancel on people and plans. Area number 4 is the cognitive symptom area, or the thinking pattern. This is when you are struggling to focus or to make decisions. You are feeling worthless or guilty for no reasons, and you have this negative thinking loop. You constantly telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, and so on. And the 5th area, the physical symptom area, this is when sleep problems occur. You either don't sleep, you can't fall asleep, or you wake up in the night, or you sleep too much. Changes in appetite, you eat too much, or too little, or not at all. And you have this constant fatigue. No matter how much rest you have, you just feel drained, and everything becomes heavier, like even lifting a cup of coffee, it's too much effort. So how common is depression? Well, it's more common than what you might think. Studies show that about 11 to 15% of people will experience major depression in their lifetime, that women are about twice as likely to be diagnosed as men, and young adults between 18 and 29 years old have the highest rate. If depression runs already in your family, your risk is higher to get it, and stressful events in life, like losing a job, relationship breakups, trauma, can trigger depression. So think of it like this. 2 people, they both lose their job. One person tells themselves, oh, it's terrible, but I'm going to move on. And the other one falls into deep depression. And then we think, okay, why they react differently? It's because depression isn't just about what happens. It's not just about losing the job. It's about how is your biological state, how is your personality, and how is your support system around you. Why does depression happen? Well, there is not one cause of depression. It's actually a mix of the following factors. The biological factor. When you have a brain chemistry imbalance, we know that depression is linked to a low level of serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. And those chemicals, they are there to regulate the mood. Then there is genetic factors. If a close family member has depression, then your risk is 2 to 3 times higher. And then hormones like cortisol, stress hormone, can also play a big role if you produce it a lot. So to better understand, I want to show you which area of the brain are linked to depression. So here is a beautiful brain. Here in the front, the prefrontal cortex, this one is for mood regulation and decision making. And then this area here in the middle, where we have the hippocampus for memory and learning, the amygdala, which is a little dot, this is for the emotional processing, and then the hypothalamus, which is for appetite and sleep regulation. So today we know that those areas of the brain are linked to depression. Then the other factor is the psychological factor. That negative thinking habits some people have, where they assume automatically the worst in every situation. Those people, they are more vulnerable to get depressed. And then we also have the people who have learned to be helplessness. So if someone constantly think that they are a failure, that everything will fail in their life, that nothing will change, they are in this loop to also develop depression. Because imagine growing up in a super critical environment where you are always taught that you are not good enough. Over time, your brain starts believing it, and the mindset and the risk for depression increases. And the last factor is the social and environment one, where loneliness or isolation or the lack of strong connection and relationship with people makes depression worse once you have it. And also the major life stress like loss, trauma, financial struggles, or chronic illnesses. So if you have a chronic body pain or you have something like diabetes, then this is linked to higher depression rate. The good news, there is always a good news, depression is treatable. It might not be easy, it might take a lot of time, but there is hope. And the treatment look like this. You can have a biological treatment, which is with drugs, for example, antidepressants. They help your brain balance to be regained and the chemistry to be back. Then we have the light therapy. This one is super useful in winter when we lose sunlight. And we have the electroconvulsive therapy, the ECT. This one is more for severe cases. Then we have the psychological treatments like the cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This one helps to challenge the negative thoughts that you have and to correct those patterns. And there is also the behavioral activation. This one encourages doing small, enjoyable activities again. So let's say someone thinks, I am a failure, and he goes to the therapist, and the therapist will challenge the thought with evidence that will help them reframe their thinking. So it will be like, how do you know that you're a failure? Can you prove it? Can you give me examples? And so on. And the third one is the lifestyle and social support treatment. So if you do a lot of exercise, you increase your serotonin and endorphin, and those are the feel-good hormones, chemicals. Or social connection. You talk to trusted people, you hug them, that makes a huge difference. Or you have healthy routine, you install a sleep routine, you eat nutritious food, you take care of yourself, you go for walks, you spend a lot of time outside. This all is part of the therapy and matters in depression. So to wrap it up, depression is not just sadness. It's a real medical condition that affects how people think, feel, and function. And if you or someone is struggling with depression or with those symptoms, please reach out to seek professional help, because therapy exists and it's very helpful. Voila, I hope you enjoyed this video and that some misconceptions have been cleared up. If this was useful to you, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.